Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to kick off our session today with the theme, Finding Your Authentic Persona. On this first slide, we're focusing on classroom management and the importance of being yourself. Over the course of this presentation, we'll explore how embracing your true self can enhance your teaching style and create a more positive classroom environment. So let's get started and discover how authenticity can make all the difference. Let's take a moment to look at this quote. I feel myself trying to become that teacher, but somehow I'm never comfortable with it. What this really highlights is the internal struggle many of us face when stepping into the role of a teacher. It's not just about the skills or knowledge, it's about feeling at ease, confident, and authentic in that space. Sometimes, even when we want to embrace that identity, there's an underlying discomfort or self-doubt that holds us back. This connects to the overall theme of growth and self-awareness in teaching. Recognizing these feelings is the first step toward overcoming them and becoming the educator we aspire to be. Let students see your genuine reactions, moods, and natural behavior, rather than covering everything up in a performance. This means being real and authentic in your interactions, showing them who you truly are. When you're behaving in a way that is appropriately real and appropriately you, it creates a sense of trust and connection. So, what is authenticity? It's about being honest and true to yourself, especially in a teaching environment. By demonstrating authenticity, you encourage students to also be genuine, which fosters a more open and engaging learning atmosphere. Remember, this aligns with our overall theme of creating meaningful and trustworthy relationships with students. Being authentic isn't about perfection. It's about showing vulnerability and realness, which makes your teaching more relatable and impactful. Let's talk about Carl Rogers and his approach to teaching. He believed that driving classroom success really hinges on building a genuine human connection with students. When we create that authentic rapport, it fosters deep trust and respect, which are critical for effective learning. In fact, Rogers emphasized that authenticity, being real and honest, is the most important characteristic a teacher can have. Students can sense when we're genuine, and that authenticity helps them feel safe and valued in the classroom. This idea of the power of rapport ties directly into our overall theme today, that meaningful connections are the foundation of effective teaching. When we focus on building real relationships, we not only improve classroom dynamics, but also significantly enhance student engagement and success. Let's talk about human-to-human contact. This is really the foundation of effective teaching and communication. Being appropriately real is crucial. Showing genuine reactions helps others feel truly seen and understood. When you're authentic, it builds trust and fosters a deeper connection. Building true rapport isn't just about surface-level politeness. It's about creating a meaningful bond that encourages openness and engagement. Now, when we think about the human element, I like to think of teaching as a great performance. It's about stepping into a role, your role as a teacher or presenter, and engaging with your audience. Imagine the audience as your audience watching you, and your goal is to connect with them genuinely. Playing a role doesn't mean being inauthentic. It's about adopting the right attitude and energy to communicate effectively. This brings us to an important distinction, the stage versus reality. Sometimes, what we present on stage isn't exactly how we feel inside. The performance is a crafted version, designed to connect, inspire, or inform. But understanding this distinction helps us stay authentic and aware that the delivery is part of a performance meant to serve a purpose. Ultimately, whether we're in a classroom or on stage, the key is to balance the performance with authenticity. That's how we create real human connections that resonate long after the moment has passed. Let's talk with rather than at. It's about creating a genuine connection, engaging in a dialogue instead of just delivering a monologue. When we sit with people rather than in front of them, we foster a sense of collaboration and trust. It's about being approachable and open, making others feel comfortable to share and participate. And remember, stop behaving like a job title and start being yourself. People respond more positively when they see the real you, not just the role you hold. Authenticity builds credibility and rapport. Finally, don't try to be a teacher in the traditional sense. Instead, focus on guiding and facilitating. It's about sharing your knowledge in a way that invites others to learn and grow alongside you, rather than just imparting information from a distance. This approach helps foster a more meaningful and impactful interaction. All right, let's talk about stepping into real conversations. If you disagree with someone, don't be afraid to say so. Just make sure you're genuine about it. Avoid sounding like an official mouthpiece or just sticking to your job title. People appreciate authenticity, so speak from the heart. Remember, listening and reacting genuinely is key. It's not just about hearing words, but truly engaging with what's being said. And when you're in a conversation, focus on being real. This is step 2, moving beyond scripted talks to real, meaningful discussions. That's how trust is built and genuine connections are made. So keep it conversational, be yourself, and stay engaged. That's the essence of real conversations that lead to better understanding and stronger relationships. Honesty really is the best policy when it comes to building trust. It's far more effective than trying to beat around the bush or giving vague explanations. When you're straightforward, people see you as credible and reliable. And remember, if you genuinely don't know the answer to something, it's okay to admit it. Don't pretend to have all the answers. That can damage your credibility in the long run. The key is transparency and authenticity. That's what truly earns trust. This ties back to the overall theme of integrity and effective communication, which are essential for strong relationships and leadership. So always aim to be honest, even if it means saying, "I don't know," rather than pretending to know everything. Now, let's talk about step 4, being appropriately authoritative. It's so important to use your authority confidently, but not as a cloak to hide behind. Your authority should come from your knowledge and professionalism, not from intimidation. Remember to maintain classroom standards at all times. This creates a respectful and productive learning environment. Giving clear instructions and setting homework are key ways to establish your role as a leader and guide for your students. And it's worth emphasizing that authenticity doesn't mean you have to abdicate your responsibilities. Being genuine and true to yourself actually reinforces your authority because students can tell when you're sincere. So, in summary, step 4 is about balancing confidence and authenticity, setting clear boundaries, and guiding your students effectively while staying true to who you are. This approach helps foster respect and engagement in the classroom. Students see through pretense. It's important to remember that trying to hide your true self or your limits can actually create more tension than just being honest. When we pretend to be perfect or hide our doubts, it can lead to feelings of isolation and stress. Hiding the truth might seem like a good way to earn respect or avoid judgment, but in reality, it often has the opposite effect. People appreciate authenticity. When we're honest about our limitations, it shows humility and courage, which can foster trust and respect. You might wonder, will they respect me if I let down my guard? That's a common doubt. But the truth is, most people respect vulnerability because it takes strength to show your true self. It's a way of building genuine connections, whether in learning, work, or personal relationships. So, dealing with doubts about openness is part of growth. Remember, being honest about your struggles doesn't weaken you. It makes you more relatable and trustworthy. Embracing your true self helps you manage tension more effectively and creates a healthier, more honest environment overall. Authenticity is really a journey, not a destination, and that's an important mindset to keep in mind. It's about gradually becoming more true to ourselves over time, rather than expecting perfection overnight. One key thing to remember is to avoid being threatening to others. When we're authentic, it's not about forcing or pushing our way onto others. It's about being genuine and respectful. Next, think of authenticity as chip away at expectations slowly. It's about making small, manageable adjustments rather than giant leaps. Tread carefully and make small changes. This approach helps us stay grounded and authentic without overwhelming ourselves or others. Ultimately, these small steps add up. Small, consistent changes allow us to build trust, confidence, and genuine connections. Remember, embracing this process is part of the bigger picture of authenticity, and it's about progress, not perfection. Let's take a moment to reflect on how much our cultural context allows us to be who we truly want to be. Are we holding back because of societal expectations or fears of judgment? I also want to consider whether we're worried that students might not respect us if we let our guard down. It's a common concern, but often, authenticity fosters respect and trust. Think about small ways you could be more honest and true to yourself in your interactions. Sometimes it's just a matter of showing a bit more of your genuine personality. Now, I invite you to consider, how much are you being yourself in class today? Are you fully showing up as who you are, or are there parts you're holding back? These reflection questions are crucial because they help us understand the balance between cultural expectations and personal authenticity. Embracing our true selves not only benefits us, but also creates a more genuine and engaging learning environment for our students. So, let's be mindful of these questions as we continue to grow as educators.